Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about sports. We've got week 4 of the NFL completed, except for tomorrow night's games, obviously. What about them Chiefs, baby?
Oh,
Little bias for you guys, but it just happened. So,
how would they have ever guessed?
literally, game just finished a few 30 minutes ago, and we are recording our pod. So,
Yeah, we were
so
waiting.
what's that?
We were waiting for it.
Oh, yeah. So let's start with the
Wait,
Thursday night game.
Yeah, we'll work our way through that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll start off
It'll be our last one.
sad. We'll start off all sad here with Tua.
Dolphins losing
Awful
to the
situation.
Bengals 15-27. Tua, man, shouldn't have been playing, boys.
Yeah, one of the scariest things I've seen on a field.
Oh, yeah.
Very scary to see. It was reminiscent of last year with the Chargers against us for their receiver.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Forgot about
I
that.
feel bad. I can't remember his name.
Where his arms were like just
Yeah.
that fencing posture is always scary, but especially on the football field.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But man,
Where it doesn't belong, you know?
He got slammed down too. Like prior to that, you're just really
like
but yeah, the NFLPA fired the independent neurologist, right?
threw him right under the bus.
Well,
Closed, everything.
The PA had to do something, right? 'Cause PA felt like it, and that's what it could do. The PA can't
Yeah, I think-
fire
They
the
said that he
team
was-
doctor.
apparently in his interview with the PA afterwards, he was very unsure of what his job actually was. And then he was combative with them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that was
So while they were doing the interview afterwards, so that also were contributing factors to his dismissal, plus up against prior performance he's had.
I did think it was super interesting that I didn't know that with those cases, both the NFL and NFLPA can independently fire those guys.
Yeah.
Without consulting the other.
Because they're kind of like just neurologists. They're supposed to be independent,
right.
have no
So-
interest in the team. So the team, they won't make the decision that
So
benefits.
you gotta do your job so well in this case that both sides think that you did a good job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can't.
I get it.
But there have been changes to the policy already. Now it's they were stating if somebody presents the signs where they're unstable
Yeah.
after a hit, that they will not be allowed. So I mean, I guess
How is this
Too
not
late.
part of the protocol already? They made it seem
Right.
like made it sound like it was, but yeah, if you have a guy stumbling around out there, you're like, well, yeah, he definitely should not go back into the game
But
and
at
probably
least-
should be held out another game.
They
That's it.
literally have guys in the stands with binoculars called spotters looking for this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hard to see. Everyone
Yeah.
saw. They also
Oh.
have cameramen all over the field with cameras, and
Yeah, it's
they
like-
saw all this shit.
yeah, I wasn't defending the
And, like,
NFL and that by
you-
saying
Look, none of us, right? Obviously, we're not doctors, but you don't lie to me when you tell me he has a back injury. When we saw that Tua like hit his head, got up and shook his head, was going for his head, like he didn't grab for
He
his
never
back.
grabbed his back,
He-
ever.
It's not like he didn't act like his back was hurt. He acted like his head was hurt. Like
Well,
all the signs were there.
Well, and then the fucking tweet from McDaniels. Oh, we watched a movie on his phone and laughed on the way home. But like, don't fucking ice it up and try and make it look pretty. That's
Luke Gruber stuff. Come
so
on.
fucking
Now,
disgusting.
look,
That
I
whole
don't think-
organization is just scummy.
I don't think really any of it falls too heavily on McDaniel. Maybe he shouldn't have had his guy out there. He's making a case for that. But he's a first year head coach.
and
Right.
that guy, he
If-
should have been medically cleared to be.
Exactly. If the doctors tell him that his guy's good to go and his guy says I'm good to go, he's probably gonna put
Every
him out
coach
there.
is gonna
Like,
probably put him
every-
out there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
they're
And
to
this
give
is
it a go, but-
and he's not somebody who's established enough to tell, somebody who was cleared by doctors and is a star of the team, no, you're going to sit down for this one. Like,
I mean, he has to. He has to be though. He's the head coach.
yeah, but he's not the one who clears these guys. Like,
He's
not
not
the doc-
Tom Brady.
he's not the doctor though, man. Like, if
It doesn't
they
matter.
tell
Like
him to go,
the coach ultimately has the final say in that.
he does, and he could have done that, and
And
probably should have. Like, in hindsight's a bitch too. Like, a lot of us were kind of,
Probably does in the future. Make
No,
a difference.
yeah, I'm
no
sure he'll
owner
learn
or
from
set
it.
of fans should ever get mad at a coach for saying, "I know what the doctor said, but I also know what I saw, and I benched him because
And we
it did not look right."
I don't think, anybody would have been mad at him too, because it was on a short week. We all saw the hit that he took, like how he was stumbling around. Like, I don't think anybody would have
No-
blamed the Dolphins for
Nobody in the world would have been mad at him.
like you're 3-0, so you can lose a game. It's going to be a tough game against the Bills. It is a divisional game, so that sucks. But like, it's a short week. You don't need to be putting the guy back out there, even if it was a back injury. Even if it really was a back injury, it still affected him enough to where he was stumbling around out there.
Yeah, and
So,
I think it's
like,
possible throughout the week. Tua wanted this game. Like, this was a game Tua probably wanted. Him and Joe Burrow are
I'm sure, but
always linked.
yeah,
Well, and
Man,
the whole thing starts with the original lie, which is on the first concussion. They didn't call
right,
it.
that this was a back injury.
like,
Yeah.
I-
So like if you try and sit him the next week, then you've got to answer a bunch of fucking questions about what really happened with
Yeah,
that first
Did
hit.
you put him?
So he throws him out there to
And-
continue
Yeah,
to propagate the lie.
you're right, because if you put him back in the game on Sunday, then you have to trot him out there on Thursday, or else why the fuck did you put him back out on the game on
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah.
So I get it.
Ineptitude.
It's
And
tough, and
the
I
ultimate
think Mike
worst-case scenario
McDaniel.
happened.
I think Mike McDaniel will learn from it.
They definitely endangered Tua in that. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think we'll
Yeah.
see him next week though.
They
Like-
better not.
I think
I mean,
it
it's-
could be 4 weeks before we see Tua on the football field. I mean,
I don't know about that. I bet he misses.
You
the
don't
game
get
he's
two.
back.
You don't get two
After that.
concussions that badly and then only miss 1 week. There's no way they bring
yeah,
it back
I
out.
mean,
You need a back injury and a
even with the
concussion,
long
Tim.
week, I could see it being 3 weeks because I mean, that gives them more time. But that's just my
They already have the NFLPA like on their
Yeah.
backs. There's no way they bring him back out after 1 week. It's gonna be 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I don't see it.
UFC fighters get concussions when they get that's what a knockout is, but they don't do it 4 days apart.
No,
they
no,
do
they,
it.
they
They have
do
like
it
a,
months
Yeah.
and months
yeah.
apart.
Them boxers like
Still not great for you either, even
No.
when it's months apart. If
No.
you
Yeah,
continually take those
even
types
a
of
like
hits.
even a young hungry fighter is still only fighting every few weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So that
So-
was that game, right?
Well-
Something happened. Somebody won. I don't know. The Bengals won by a bunch because Tua
Bengals
like,
won,
got
but-
knocked the fuck out, and
yeah.
nothing matters. So Bengals, maybe you're back, maybe not. Maybe you just got lucky because the other team's quarterback got hurt. Great unis. I like the zebra cake unis.
I liked those way more than I thought I would.
Those were cool.
They were. Cool.
I gotta
I am
say.
with you, Sneaky. I did not think I would enjoy them for a whole game,
Yeah.
No, I like them.
but I didn't think I would. And then once I started,
Better than the next game, which would be the Vikings game, right? Are we going to go to London?
Yeah, we can go. We can cross the pond, boys.
I forgot
The
that
next
that
one?
like I totally
The-
I didn't even wake up till that game was over.
The Saints,
wanted to watch some of that game, but
their unis kind of looked like they're trying to be the Steelers a little bit, and I was like, I thought I'd like those black helmets a little more, but when you put them on like an all white and everything's like the black and yellow stuff, it looked a little too much Steeler.
So before we
like-
talk too much about it, let's Vikings beat the Saints 28-25
yeah,
Uh-huh.
in London.
on
Yeah.
the double
Man.
doink.
Oh yeah, the double doink. No.
That was I woke up in like during the second quarter and I flipped that game on. And good game though. Really good
Looks
game.
like it was a good
So
game.
it was-
Except that I
And
woke
went
up
back
and
and-
went to sleep.
went back and forth there for a while. At the fourth quarter. Lots of field goals, which I know the Brits probably appreciated. right? They love kicking the ball.
Yeah. Hell yeah, good for them.
So yeah, dude, it ended with the Vikings, driving down, their dude nailing a 60-yarder to put them up by 3. And then giving like the Saints like 25 seconds with no timeouts. They drive up to give their dude a 61-yard chance, right? To give Will Lutz a 61-yard chance. And man, just like, ooh, right. From 60, it would have been good. From 60, it would have cleared.
It would have.
Had he been able to kick from the same distance.
Well, he had the distance. He just barely.
Right, no, but even because it curved into it, like if he had been 1 yard closer, it would have curved behind that pole and wouldn't have hit it, and it would have been good. But
even if it did, it would have hit it at a point where it would have spun in.
probably gone back in. But yeah, it hits perfectly to double doink, the old double doink.
Yeah, I like that they just casually hit a 64-yarder today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. No problem. Andy Dalton didn't look terrible, actually. He had some good throws. And Saints made some good plays overall. It was definitely higher scoring than I thought it was going to be, with 2 teams traveling to London and the Saints being with a backup QB and their offense already looking pretty questionable on the year. So more entertaining than I thought. And, Vikings actually getting lucky with field goals for once in their franchise.
Yeah, I'd say for the first time ever. You know what? It's probably going to be a much better game than next week's London game or the next London game.
Which is the Jags and somebody?
Giants and Packers.
Oh,
That's 2 winning records.
First time that London will get to see 2 teams with a winning record.
Hey, I bet that could be the Giants defense could.
A couple of suspect
priceless.
winning records.
Yeah, the Packers have not looked great, so.
No.
They haven't looked like doing it.
But it's a
yeah, even Rodgers after that game said it wasn't sustainable, not a sustainable way of winning. We're not on that game yet.
We're not on that game yet.
No.
We're done with the London.
We're
one,
done
though.
with that
What's
game.
the-
Yeah. Well, the next game we got Browns losing to the Falcons 20-23.
Yeah, good.
Ugh.
Fuck the Browns. Moving on.
Yeah.
But
Are we
the Falcons,
are we sleeping on the Falcons a little bit?
I think the Falcons have a better offense than we give them credit for.
Right.
They have
I
some
think so.
weapons that are actually starting to show up. In the run game, it's not just
I
Cordell.
honestly think they're an elite quarterback away from having an elite offense.
And then,
Like-
yeah, I mean, next year they potentially get Calvin Ridley back, and they could fall into a top 10 pick. Because, I mean, they're probably still not going to win
The
a bunch of
QB,
games.
I mean,
still
look,
has the Bucks have looked-
sleeping on the Falcons. Like, Mariota's terrible. He's really terrible.
Are we talking about the Falcons game now?
Yeah,
Are we jumping to that one?
we were on the
We
Falcons.
ended the
That's-
London game.
Yeah, we've been on the Falcons for a hot minute, Sam.
Cool. I thought
Apparently,
we just,
Kyle
like-
Pitts can't get targets. Like, he's the biggest dude on any NFL field, and nobody can find him. Apparently,
I'm so- Kyle Pitts fantasy owners
that's a little
are having a
that's a
rough.
little personal, but it's also a big part of their offense. Like, Drake London has come on, and he's looked really.
Why don't
good.
you tell them that? Why don't you let the Falcons?
Well,
know?
because the owner said that, or the coach, somebody like what was it, a week or two ago, said he doesn't care about fantasy points.
Yeah.
well,
So
Yeah, right.
it
But
doesn't, and you win it. You've got a couple wins. The Falcons got a couple wins, you guys.
Yeah.
Good for them. It was against the Seahawks and the Browns, so it's like. But the Browns have looked decent at times, and so have the Seahawks. Like today,
Yeah.
they're not the worst teams. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Well, let's move off that game. Let's go on to the Commies losing to the Cowboys 25-10.
So
Speaking of another alt uniform, I kind of liked the Commanders alts.
the black ones.
Yeah. They didn't look
Give me a
bad.
very Maryland Terrapins vibe.
Yeah.
Without the little turtle shell pattern on the legs.
Yeah.
But you know what I would have liked a lot better? Not having to watch that
Oh
Not
no,
having to
I
have
didn't.
that.
I refused to.
on one of my. Well, I had 3 screens up, but I was like, why does this have to be one of them that's on the screens?
Yeah, you just throw.
Yeah,
it on
that's
red
why
zone,
that's
and
why I
then-
only had 2 going.
I don't think anybody was surprised by the game. Was anybody surprised that
No, I mean,
the results in the game?
I would say,
Cooper Cush lighting them up, right?
yeah, Rush looked good.
Yeah, so
Michael Gallup's going to add an element to the Cowboys.
is there going to be a quarterback controversy in Dallas?
There could be, but also in Washington. How long until
Wentz
they
gets
Carson Wentz?
yeah, he gets out of there. Who's their backups?
They have Heineke, right?
They have Heineke.
Oh yeah,
Heineke
that's right.
played well for
Never.
him.
Heineke didn't look worse than Wentz last year, did he?
No.
No, the last. I mean, he's looked decent for them in the past, so I would figure that's better than what they're seeing from Carson Wentz.
And
who
he's like
looked
still
really
young
bad.
and could, you know,
Yeah,
he's
I
still
mean,
young and could have a little upside to him.
Carson Wentz is
undeveloped.
devoid of all confidence on the football field. You can see it out there watching him. It is hard to watch
I mean,
sad.
because they're, yeah.
to an extent. You're like, ugh.
I like watching it.
Some people do, but I was like, it was a very promising young career that somewhere along the line went awry for him, and
Hey man,
it's
a
about
promising young career that made him like $100 million. How much? Did
yeah, he made a
make?
shit ton of money,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
don't feel too bad for him.
He'd
But
be
yeah,
all right.
it just it
And he's
sucks to
getting paid
watch.
like that entire contract because he keeps finding teams to start him. It's like,
I think Carson Wentz is like walking living proof that you can believe in yourself too much.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I
For
agree
sure.
with
For
that. He
sure.
doesn't learn from any of his mistakes ever.
You got to keep it real.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
so
that was the Cowboys
let's
and commies.
yeah, let's go on to the highest scoring game of the season thus far. Seahawks 48, Lions
Man.
45.
Like,
What a game. That was a good game.
that was the
a great
most
game.
entertaining NFC matchup of the day.
Yeah.
The Lions have a problem, and it is their defense.
Yeah, I mean, if they only
It is-
spent some of the money that they spent on their offense on the defensive side, maybe they could stop somebody.
is
Maybe they could
so
slow it
bad.
those.
How do you give up 48 to the Seahawks?
How do
The
you
Geno Smith.
five and
has-
lose?
Well, Gino only had two throwing TDs.
Oh, Rashad Penny killed him today.
Oh,
did.
Rashad
yeah.
Penny
Rashad
had
Penny.
two.
lit
Gino
them.
had one, and then they had a interception for a TD.
And didn't Penny also have like 150 rushing yards because he had two
It was a
monsters.
151, two
Yeah.
TDs.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah.
two TDs were
Years.
monsters.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
they were late.
Jared Goff threw 4 TDs,
Uh,
and then Williams had 2 rushing TDs with 108 yards.
Yeah, Goff had a great game.
Yeah. They had a lot of offense in this game.
It
A
was
lot.
great. It was great to see. Zero defense. Not.
I mean, the big difference there is Jared Goff threw a pick 6.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really
And the Seahawks
I guess
had
that's
one
not
extra
so much.
field goal. That's the only reason why they won.
yeah. I mean, take away the
Man,
pick six.
the Lions kind of blew it too because the Lions had some leads there, right? I thought I looked and they had like a 10-point lead at some point at least. Like they
Let's see.
thought they were doing all right. Maybe not.
No,
Oh,
they
Seattle
never
was
they
bad.
never had they
They had
never
to
had
come
that.
back.
the whole time.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
yeah,
coming. I was
man.
gonna say I remember
Look
it
at
was
the
like
box
fourth
score.
quarter and they were still coming.
I thought they had the lead. I just remember them blowing like a 10-point lead.
They got it to within 3 a couple times, and then they let a huge Penny go for 40, 50 yards untouched.
Ridiculous. Just another loss by 3 for the Lions.
Oh, constantly. They'll be in the top 5 of the draft, but it's not going to be their point differential is not going to be a huge discrepancy.
No.
Like they're going to just keep competing.
They did the
Like
did
if
it
they
last
just had
year.
any semblance of a defense, they might be undefeated this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean their defense is horrific.
You let the Seahawks.
It's
with Geno Smith
honestly
get
too.
40.
You think about it, it's like it's the Lions. Like this happens to them regardless.
All
They could
the
have a
time.
better defense. They still probably lose by 3.
They find a way to lose the game.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, think about this too, though. The Lions still put up 45 without their 2 biggest playmakers.
Yeah.
They did, yeah. They're
Yeah, they
without
did.
Amon-Ra
That's,
and Swift.
that's a hell of an offense they got over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean
Minus the
Defense is
quarterback.
nice tight end. Jared
the
Goff's not
quarterback-
terrible out there. I mean,
Quarterback still
he's-
threw
he hasn't been bad.
378
They're-
TDs.
They've put him in good situations, that's for sure.
They've got a
Yeah.
two-headed monster in the backfield now because Jamal Williams went off today. And when,
Mhm.
if Swift comes back, or once he does, then like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, their tight end showed up, and I think
Hawkinson went off,
today.
man. Best game in for a tight end in Lions history, I think.
Yeah.
Like most yardages at least. 179, 2 TDs. Come on.
Yeah. All
But
right,
yeah,
so
you
let's go on. Oh, well,
Can't lose like that at home though.
No.
48 at home to the Seahawks like that. Yeah. Anyways.
sorry. Next game we had Titans defeating the Colts 24-17. I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah, that one was
Which isn't saying much because we lost to them last week.
it's
Yeah, trap game.
that division
Okay? Trap
It
game.
was.
and not fun to watch.
No.
Back, I mean, Derrick Henry had a good first half, and
Yeah. I mean, just talk about a division that's gonna eat itself, and
Matt Ryan is a downgrade from Carson Wentz on the Colts.
maybe I don't know. It seems like just a lateral move. Like it just
It
It was a bummer watching that game, just thinking what could have been for us last week too.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
look at Matt Ryan and like he still turns the ball. He's turning the ball over a lot, and he's not even able to get away from the pressure.
Mm-mm.
Like
Yeah,
that's not a good offensive line. I don't care what the commentators say when you're watching them play. That is not a good offensive line.
no, they have one good offensive lineman.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's about it.
But you watch freaking a Colts game, and you can listen to whoever's commentating talk about how good that unit is, and I'm like, you are getting paid by that organization to talk.
Jonathan-
Your brother must be one of those guys.
Jim Irsay's throwing out those dollars.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor didn't have a very good game this week. 20 carries, 42 yards.
All you got to do to beat the Colts, and this is coming from a fan of a team that couldn't do it. You stop Jonathan Taylor and hit Matt Ryan, and you can just bring pressure at him all day. If you don't give Matt Ryan time, he's not going to escape it.
And then don't say mean things to him.
Yeah,
After
just
you sack
don't
him.
hurt his feelings on the
And
field.
don't muff punts and try to do fake field goals. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sam and I were counting off how many personal fouls flags there should have been thrown for shit talking today, and boy, we never saw one.
Never saw a single one of them.
You know, it's
saw dudes jawing at each other all goddamn day long, and all right.
shocking.
Anyways,
Let's
put
go
that
on
one
to
behind
the
us.
next
We have-
one.
we have put that game behind us. We have got a nice, good palate cleanser. Anyways,
the Bears losing to the Giants 12-20.
Gross.
yeah.
Daniel
So-
Jones had
Saw
two-
that one coming.
Just a god awful game. The Giants didn't have a fucking quarterback at one point.
Yeah, they were going. Even
Saquon in the wild card.
They were going Wildcat so much.
Yeah.
Just a shit show of a game.
The games that were played on the
Saquon Barkley continues to carry that team.
Oh yeah, but those
He's making a pretty strong push for, like, he's got to be a top 5 MVP candidate right now.
offensive player of the year candidate, yeah.
Yeah.
Those games on the East Coast today were just rough. Saw it all across the league. I mean, the winds and the rains, and
Yeah.
so
Yep.
I don't give the Bears a pass because they've played in that week one. They played in worse. This was,
Like they literally try to build their team to play in that weather.
yeah, but you saw it across, like multiple games where, the Bills game, the Bills Ravens game, we saw problems with holding on to the football. We saw it in the Jags Eagles game.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah. There's a
It was
very
a
sloppy at
week.
times.
Sloppy week.
Oh
and
yeah.
so it slowed down, but it made for a lot of really good, interesting games.
Hey, Philly, Jags and Philly were still able to put up a high scoring game though.
Yeah, them. I mean, the Baltimore Buffalo game was a good game.
It was a good game, but it was it was,
Yeah, they
I
were
think that
both
would have been a
close.
higher scoring game had it not been in a fucking downpour.
Yeah,
Um,
all of them might have been. I think,
what's game we on now?
except for this one. I think this one's probably
it was
at 20-12.
Bears Giants. But we can move off that game. Other than really the Saquon
The
coming in and
Giants-
playing at Wildcat as QB was really the only thing I saw out of that game that was interesting.
Daniel Jones
Giants are a
had
fake good
touchdowns
team.
in the first half that sealed this thing early.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So we can go. We can push off to the next game, which we got to do for P. Jags losing to the Eagles 21-29.
One cool
Man.
thing that I heard while watching the Chiefs game was that after the game, players do the jersey swaps. Jason
that.
Kelsey went to Doug Peterson and gave Doug Peterson his jersey for Doug Peterson's jacket that he was wearing.
That's dope.
during the game.
Yeah,
So much respect. I love it.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was awesome.
Great, man.
But that
Yeah.
was
Hey, the Philly fans gave him a standing ovation. Doug Peterson,
dude, he deserved nothing.
when he can,
less than that.
Yeah, but it's
Of course,
surprising
yeah.
coming from Philly fans.
yeah, but
Yeah.
even there, I mean, it's their only Super Bowl they ever had. And this
Sure.
guy
That
gave it to.
dude's-
There's a statue in front of the stadium
Of Dougie P.
of this guy, so
Yeah,
of course you're gonna cheer him.
I mean, okay, so
Well, and, hey, the Jags came in and
they played well
they played a great game.
early on.
They didn't
played
do too
well.
bad. They
They turned
kind
the
of got
ball
shut
over.
down after that hot start.
Their offense struggled. I mean, their 14-0 lead was a pick six. That was a tip drill that went the other way, and then
Right. Yep.
and then they got a touchdown. But then after that, it was 20 straight points before half for Philly. The defense was all over Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had 5 takeaways, and that was without Darius Slay for most of the game. He left in the first quarter. No Avonte Maddox. The offense slowed down in the second half, but our left tackle left, Jordan Mailata.
Yeah,
So we had a backup in there. But you could see the timing was off over there on that side, but they held on for the win. And I mean, Miles Sanders had a really good day today.
Mhm.
More on the
Yeah, he
running
did.
back.
Yeah, he did on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He, dude,
Touchdowns. Gainwell added another touchdown on
28 points,
Yeah, dude. I mean,
backed him up.
yeah, Miles was awesome.
Miles did great.
I mean, receivers were having trouble catching the ball on our side too. Goddard had a couple drops. AJ wasn't able to bring in all of them. Same with Vonta. AJ did good, but he had a couple go off his hands. Or
He did.
it was just the conditions.
yeah.
We're gonna plague all these teams, but
Yeah.
the good teams came out, and the Eagles, in my opinion, and I know I'm biased, but I think they look like the best team in the NFC.
Oh yeah,
no,
definitely.
I don't think it's just you being, but dude, everybody's putting them at the top of the
I think
NFC
they look like one of
power
the more
rankings.
I think they're one of the more
They
complete
have.
teams in the
They've-
entire NFL.
They
I think
certainly have.
you're going a little short there, actually, P.
I legit.
I think they actually look like the best team in football right now.
Yeah, I think that this is a team that if they can
Besides the
keep playing
Bills,
way
man.
they are, and if the Slay injury is not
Bills, nah.
huge, but
Mm,
if he's not out for a long
Bills for
period of
sure.
time, this could be the Super Bowl representative in the NFC.
Yeah, so
Fair problem.
the thing that really sets it apart for me is that Eagles defense is fucking for real.
It is.
mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's on Reddit.
Yeah,
but
because
I think the only team that could beat Philly right now is KU. So I'm just
so we've seen how how hot that Jaguars offense has been, right? And yeah, like you said, they started out decent, right? Because they went up 14-0, but one of those was a pick six.
Yeah.
And then they didn't get another touchdown till the fourth quarter. Like the Eagles just shut them down for the rest of the game.
oh yeah.
I mean, the Bradbury
Um,
signing in the back end was huge. James Bradbury, because
yeah, dude, Trevor
he was the
Lawrence.
number 1 corner, and you still have a number 1 corner.
There you go, man.
Yeah, and I mean you've got the Eagles winning games pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
With I mean
4 sacks today.
yeah,
An
I mean
interception.
you're not asking Jalen Hurts to do superhuman things.
No,
He
He's
still is making plays and doing his shit.
he makes great plays. He's got great awareness in the pocket.
and his accuracy is improved by 7 points
A
from
lot.
last year, which is
His
incredible.
throwing is
He's throwing that ball in
definitely
tight
improved.
windows.
Yeah,
Last year, that wouldn't have been possible.
yeah. But I mean, you're not
Does it
asking him to go out and throw 300 yards to win the
No,
game.
you're just asking him to play within the confines of the offense and take what the defense gives
Mhm.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Smart
and
decisions.
everything's running super smooth.
Yeah, he did for his standards. He had a fairly pedestrian game today.
He had that rushing touchdown, but the run game carried us. I mean, those running backs played really well, and this was the type of game where you needed them. The weather conditions said, "Hey, these guys need to help you do the thing." I mean,
And yeah,
it was
they
it
did.
was mainly Miles Sanders today, but
All right. We got
Loved it.
the Eagles, fly Eagles. All right.
Fly Eagles fly.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Wish
All
you
right. So moving on, we got Jets beating the Steelers 24-10.
Yeah, man. Interesting.
But-
game.
Interesting. Yeah.
and
Yeah, the debut of Kenny Pickett, 3 interceptions.
it was 24-20.
Yep, Jets.
Yeah.
Where did I get 10?
Sorry, I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't 10, it was 20. I wrote it down because I was writing it down.
Oh yeah, it is. I don't know where I got 10 on my little.
Yeah,
So
this game was all about Kenny Pickett replacing Trubisky at half and Zach Wilson's season
And-
debut.
and it was just because Trubisky was bad, right?
Yeah,
They-
yeah. It was. I didn't see any report of him being injured. Tomlin still is reluctant to name this Kenny's team, but I think if you pull Kenny after that, then
It's bad for him.
yeah, I don't think it does him any
I
favor.
don't. Yeah, I honestly don't understand. Like, you know how Trubisky's looked all year. It's not like he looked any different in that first half. Why are you, either ride with him the whole way and then make the change after this game, or make it before this game if you didn't feel that confident about him. Like, I
Yeah,
thought Tomlin was a little more sure-headed about his decisions than.
and he might just be playing coy. You know how NFL coaches do; they don't want to give away anything too early. I was
See, now that we know that I know for sure it wasn't due to injury, that for him to pull him off the field mid-game like that feels like Trubisky was doing something that they specifically coached him not to do this week.
I mean, he was not good in the first half.
No,
So
Yeah,
at all.
wasn't good in any of the games, particularly. I mean, outside of week 1, he looked But I think we saw a different Steelers team once Pickett came into the
It
game.
came in. He
he
did
had
spark
some
some life, even though he threw 3 interceptions.
I mean, one of
But-
them was he gave Claypool a chance to make the catch. It
One of them wasn't like
Levi's-
completely.
wasn't it wasn't a bad ball, but the defender made a good play on the ball.
Yeah, there you go. There you
2
go.
defenders right there made good plays, but Claypool had a shot at it.
It'll be interesting now to see him with a whole week
Yeah,
of
'cause
preparedness. Zach Wilson didn't do terrible
No,
either.
but
He didn't.
he really came alive in the fourth quarter. I mean, he
Fourth
looked bad.
quarter, he
the
did.
first
That
3
last
quarters.
drive
He
drove him down the field for that win, though.
when they
Like,
talk about
did
it,
what he
like the
needed to do.
quarterbacks having it, like that's what they're talking about. The ability to turn a bad game into a good game with the fourth quarter.
Even when things are going down, if you've hung in the game and you've put yourself into at least a place where
yeah,
you're still in it, you do it when you gotta do it.
yeah.
Shit, man.
I-
So yeah, good for Zach. Good for Zach.
Yeah, it was good to see for him with this being his first game action. I mean, I was impressed by Zach Wilson. They also ran the Philly special
Did they?
touchdown. Yeah,
Good,
Zach Wilson's
nice.
first touchdown of the season was a receiving one. Pretty cool. So
I know he was hurt the rest of the year, but still, that's hilarious.
yeah,
It is.
another one of
Okay,
those games.
well-
You had the elements, but it wasn't as bad. It seemed.
Okay.
Yeah. So exciting. Steelers fans are probably going to be excited because I think they're going to get used to hearing Pickett to Pickens.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
Pickens also
gotta
has a
happen.
second half.
It's gotta happen. Yeah, the Steelers. It seemed like this should have just happened from week 1.
Yeah.
With what did Kenny Pickett really gain not starting these 4 games?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put him in at all, then really he should have just started.
No.
Yeah, I don't get what he learned from watching Mitch Trubisky. Like, if you're gonna have a guy sit, at least have the guy in front of him be somebody who's like winning and successful
Yeah.
and showing you how to do these things, because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like he learned much from Mitch.
Yeah.
But hey, man,
That's
the
gonna be a
Jets-
problem.
The
We'll have
Jets
to see what
defense as
happens.
well, getting
Yeah.
themselves 4 picks, man. Like,
We'll have to see what continues in the next couple of weeks with
Yeah,
pick.
Jets
couple
are-
days, find out more. I think.
Yeah,
The Jets are quietly at like 500, which it's still early, but nobody expected the Jets to be 2-2 even. They're the Jets.
but I mean, they still have to play the Bills
And the Dolphins
and
twice.
the Dolphins twice. So
They're getting the Dolphins at the right time potentially.
that's true. That's true.
And they're on. It's the right time for them as well because they're winners of what 2 of the last 3.
Yeah.
Break it down that way.
So speaking of the Bills, we can move
Bills.
on to that last game. Bills defeat the Ravens 23-20 after the Lamar interception on 4th down and the goal.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you going for that?
I would, dude. I
didn't
yelling.
get it either.
I was me and Sneaky
Sam was yelling it. Sam was yelling about it.
It's not like you just have the best.
Going for it. Like recognize the
Take-
game you are in.
Right? Yes.
Fucking field goal.
It's what so many coaches. It's what so many coaches are failing to do nowadays with like analytics and wanting to go for it so much on 4th down and do these things is that they're not looking at the fucking game you're in. Okay, we were in a game that's sloppy as hell. It's rainy. It's
We've
getting
done
points. It's been a dogfight trying to get some points. We haven't been able to get some points in the second half. We can kick it right here and go up.
Yeah,
right? And
these
we
are
get the lead.
guaranteed.
I've said it a million times. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have broken the brains of coaches in the NFL. They've broken their fucking brains because we were going for it on
so
4th
aggressive,
down.
right?
We're making like 4th and 15s and shit.
But that's also because like we
Now,
recognize the
every
team
coach
that,
thinks it's the best idea.
and we're not doing it. We're
Be
not
as
even that
aggressive as
aggressive
possible.
nowadays. That was the Chiefs of like 2018. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's
It's
because
like
we
I said
had
to
to.
Sam. I told Sam earlier today, I was like, there's a lot of NFL coaches carrying their balls around in wheelbarrows these days.
Like one of them's in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni does the same shit. Like he passed up a field goal at the. Sorry to go back, but he passed up a field goal that would have put us up 12th at the end of the game on 4th down, and luckily the next play was a Trevor Lawrence turnover. But
Right, you did.
you left the door open for these guys now. You know, I mean, you had a chance to put
You
this game
did,
away with a
and
minute
you should have
left.
been. You should have taken the points and let your defense do work like they had been all game.
Absolutely. If the analytics are telling you in that situation to pass up on putting the game away, the analytics are wrong.
Wrong, dude.
I get
Like,
Jake Elliott had taken a shot in that game, but he had come out and made another field goal. He has missed an extra point in that game, but
yeah, but yeah, just like recognize the
situation.
game, the situation that you're
You
in.
gotta have some kind of feel for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think Andy has a great feel for the game.
Absolutely. He's
game.
been
Like,
around it so long. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel lucky to have a veteran
23
coach that
years as a head
that
coach.
seems to get it, man. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of what that game came down to. And you just felt like once they let Buffalo score, like before the half there, like they were up, 20-3, I think, on Buffalo. And then they let them come down and just score right before half. And you just felt it all kind of go towards, and it was just very reminiscent of the Miami game. And like,
Saw some discourse
deep-
on some miscommunications and differences in opinion at the end of that game by the Baltimore defense.
their defense
Marcus
is
Peters.
Marcus Peters.
It
Yeah.
looked like him and Campbell were both. It looked like Campbell was also hot. Like there was multiple players that wanted to let them score, and then somebody made the stop when they were trying not to stop them.
It's maybe the worst, or at least the most like just mess up defense or confused defense mistake that I've ever seen in a Jim Harbaugh team. Like Jim Harbaugh's defenses are usually very sound defenses.
Normally a lot more disciplined.
Very disciplined, very solid. They're not going to let you get a lot, they're not going to be giving up huge chunk plays like they seem to do every week now. Just like
it's blowing leads
blowing huge leads. Yeah. That never would get on the Ravens before.
And it's a shame because, I mean, Dobbins looked really good for Baltimore today.
Yeah, they found some wide receivers that aren't terrible.
That running back, Duvernay, I was to say he's another one that I wrote down. He's looked really nice this season for him. But yeah, the fourth
but they're
and goal decision with 4:09 left. Then there was I didn't agree with the roughing the passer right outside the 2-minute warning
no, that was
called
weak.
on.
but
Yeah, Baltimore.
There's a lot of those calls this week, man. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
There were a lot of chintzy roughing the passers, and they said at the beginning of the season they were going to ease up on the roughing the passer, but
I haven't seen it.
But then Thursday,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean Thursday.
that wasn't even a roughing the passer. Like that wasn't.
I know,
a
but
good
now
way
they
to
have
do
to.
it.
But anyway,
Yeah,
Not the
yeah,
game.
the Ravens can't. It seems like they forgot how to win games.
Yeah, forgot how to close out these
Because
games.
that's 2 games this year where they had their foot on the throat.
Falling
Yeah.
Like
apart.
those games were over.
they were.
And
So,
yeah. Credit to Josh Allen.
yeah, man.
Huge comeback for him.
There you go.
Yeah,
They finally got a
Well,
win
they were
on a
like
close
3
game.
There were like 2 or 3 18-point plus comebacks this week.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Nuts, man. Those
yeah.
games.
It was the week of comebacks again.
Let's move to the next
Um,
game. We had Chargers beating the Texans 34-24. I honestly saw maybe a play from this game.
Yeah, I mean, I know Austin Eckler started out really hot for him. What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a game.
Eckler had a huge day.
The Texans
3
tried to.
touchdowns, I think.
Yeah, the Texans tried to make a little comeback, but it never really.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks had a touchdown. I know at one point.
Right.
I didn't get to see much of this game, but it went about as I expected.
Yeah, I think it went as
Chargers
good bounce back game for the Chargers, I guess, after
losing Joey Bosa.
yeah, and getting their ass whooped by the
Yeah,
Jaguars last week.
That's a pretty good game to get when your entire team is on the IR.
Yeah, and you've
Yeah.
come off 2 bad losses like that, and you're needing to get something. Yeah, you get the Texans, and hey, things are right. We're right back on track, boys.
Yeah, we did what we needed. We're good.
There you go. All right, next game.
Next game, we had the Cards beating the Panthers 26-16.
Ugh.
Another game I really didn't see much of.
I saw enough of it to make me sick.
Yeah, same.
It was close for a little bit until maybe the 4th-ish quarter when the Cards kind of took off with it and Kyler started making some good plays.
Good God.
Wasn't that terrible? He started out a little rough, but then he ended up doing, well enough. I know neither of those teams look like they should scare anybody, though. Neither of those teams are for real. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
Obviously, the Panthers seem like they're a good QB away from being something, though, because they have a lot of good offensive weapons, but they've got Baker Mayfield as well.
and Matt Rule.
So yeah, it was kind of a sloppy game for a little bit until the Cards finally pulled away. McCaffrey did well at the end when it was kind of out of hand. But anyway,
Of course.
all right. Next game, the Pats.
Next game, Packers in overtime.
Packers,
Packers
that was-
winning that game 27-24.
Hey.
Patriots lost another quarterback
Yep.
prior to a head injury.
Yeah, what is
That-
he?
I think it was a concussion.
Yeah, what was
Mhm.
that like? Was that the first quarter, second quarter?
I think it was first. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't.
And the
see
Pats
that.
still stayed in that game.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean, they got-
Zappy.
Bailey Zappi, first.
Zappy.
I like to call him
for a
Kmart,
touchdown.
the Kmart version of Mac Jones.
He didn't do terrible though.
No,
Not at all.
I mean he held it. He hung in there.
I mean, hey man, you're taking Packers and A-Rod to OT to the very end of OT.
Yeah.
They have a good run game and good defense.
He was 10 of 15 for 99 yards and a touchdown.
It's not the worst stat line ever
Yeah.
No.
for a guy who had
You've
to come
seen
in.
Bill Belichick trust quarterbacks less.
We definitely have.
Yeah.
And they
Packers
did
saw-
they did pretty good on the run game, right? On the ground.
Yeah, I'd say their run game's pretty solid there in New England. Can keep them
Pretty
in a
alright,
lot of
man.
games.
Yeah, and they did that against a good Packers defense. That Packers defense is solid and getting
Mhm.
better,
Yeah.
but the Packers still continue to look underwhelming.
They
A
do.
little
Yeah.
bit. They came out and really ran the ball well, very well, to my chagrin as an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
fan.
they did run the ball well. It's just not what you
But-
expect from the Packers.
No,
No.
but they did, dude. I mean, they had Jones went 110. Dylan had another 73 on the ground as well. I mean, they ran all over these guys tonight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bill was
Lazard
fun to watch.
Lazard still had 116 receiving yards on
he
top of that.
did,
So
right?
Yeah, I
Him
mean,
and
like
Dobbs
if
were
you're running the
pretty
ball
good.
that
Dobbs.
well, they throw it a bunch.
Him and
Watson
Dobbs
and
were
Dobbs
good.
both got touchdowns.
yeah,
No, Tanyan got a touchdown. All right. Yeah,
Uh,
that's
yeah.
what it says.
Oh, Watson.
Tanyan.
it's weird if you look at the stat
Watson
line.
got a rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the stat line, it like everything says the Packers win this by 14. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but hey, man,
nope,
Pats
3
hung in
in
there.
overtime.
the
So
Pats hung in there. Oh my god.
all right, so enough of that. We've got
No,
the
it's a good
game of the
game, though.
week right here,
Good game.
boys. We got the Let's Rides versus the Raiders.
Hey, good job, Raiders. First,
Yeah,
First
first one of the
win.
year.
You got it.
32-23 Raiders.
Hey,
You will not go 0-17.
Nope. But you're about to go 1-4 because you got us next week. So
yep.
um,
Good job. You beat the Broncos. We'll see you next week, guys.
hey, they got themselves a divisional win against the Broncos. It's nice to see because now we're fully a game ahead of every team, right? And all the other teams have a divisional loss now.
yeah.
So it's good for us. And we got to beat the Raiders next week.
Absolutely.
But
Josh
not about
Jacobs had a
us.
game,
Not about us. It's about this game. Yeah, Josh Jacobs did have a
Sure.
game.
and he sat on my bench this week.
This is
Not
Ooh.
not that it mattered. I'm still winning. Sorry, Sneaky, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you need something crazy out of Allen Robinson, which
Oh yeah, he's gonna have like an all-time game. Which
Not
isn't gonna happen.
not likely. But yeah, this is actually in this game. I think it was the best the Broncos or offense has looked all year, actually, and they lost.
Yeah, Russ actually played pretty well.
He did decently, yeah.
yeah, 237 and 2 TDs, and another 29 rushing yards with a TD.
What was his completions?
17 to 25.
Okay.
Not the worst.
He started out a lot hotter.
Yeah.
I think he opened up 10 of 11 or something like that.
And he did well, man. Finally, Carr did almost nothing. It seemed, although it's 20.
Yeah, 21 to 34, 188 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs had all the TDs, so
Melvin
really had to,
fumbles
but-
again.
That's pretty much him in a nutshell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he checks into the game, immediately fumbles, which is returned for a touchdown.
Oh, you gotta love it.
So he's got that plus the 2 goal line fumbles week 1.
Beautiful thing.
How did the Raiders score so many points if they only had 2 rushing touchdowns and no catching touchdowns?
Defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
Devontae Adams had a decent game, right? He had 100 yards, anyways.
first
so-
time since week 1, and they
So,
found creative ways to get him involved too, getting him at the ball on shallow routes.
Like hey,
Let
the,
Work.
It was
just did what
it
they
was
needed to.
a pretty ugly game.
Yeah.
It was. There were a lot of ugly stuff that we were laughing at the whole
Yeah.
time because they just a lot of stupid penalties and
So many
some turnovers.
All starts and
Oh yeah.
holding.
Both the teams look, a little bit like a mess, and
I'm really enjoying the Broncos' failure.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's
so
been so
delightful.
nice. It's so yeah.
Because they were so sure that they were winning this division this year. And couldn't have been
their hopes were so high.
They just don't look like a team that. Obviously, it's still early in the year, but they don't look like
They
a
just don't look like
that transition.
our team that could really win The big
It looks like a
games,
team
yeah.
that might, towards the end of the year, play spoiler to some teams, but they might dig themselves too deep a hole.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, their offense looked like it made strides today, but
It did, but
it was also the
then,
Raiders.
then I guess their defense took a step back because the Raiders put up.
And I mean, they
nice
still
numbers.
only put up 23.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and their offense took strides.
Yeah, that's
Because Russ had a decent game. They didn't even let's see, they had 85 rushing yards as a team. So
yeah.
and that was with Russ doing 29 of that. So their rushing could get a lot better. Judy looked all right, right? He had a decent game.
Yeah.
So really, I guess what we're saying is that the Broncos looked better because they didn't look bad.
Well, I was saying,
Yeah, because they
played the
did.
Raiders
Yes,
defense.
They didn't look
they
straight up bad.
they didn't look.
Still
They
don't
didn't look
great.
terrible. They didn't look great. They didn't look terrible though, and that's an improvement for their offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their defense took a step. Their defense that was like being slept on was so good. No, guys, they're a 2-1 team because they have a really stout defense.
You know what? We've talked about the Raiders and Broncos for way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
So let's
We
go
just
on
like
to the game
shitting
of
on
the,
them. We
the
just
game
like
we
shitting
wanted
on
to
them
talk
because
about the
obviously
most.
biased.
Chiefs defeating the Bucks 41-31, baby.
Peace. Oh man,
Oh man.
Get the
that went
boat,
way better.
get
It
the
went way better than I thought
ship
it would.
right, back on course
Yeah.
type of game, right?
Yep. Exactly what was
last week
needed.
was very scary.
Needed that bounce back game. And needed to be able to go down and do it on the road and make a statement. Kelsey had definitely a redemption game for himself, man, he was huge for us.
I think Clyde also was huge for us. He had the one drop, but
He did have the one drop, but
that would have
other
been
than that,
probably
yeah,
would
man.
have been a touchdown. But
Even Pacheco.
But he still ended up
11 for
having 2
63.
touchdowns.
yeah, he had an awesome day. That touchdown from Mahomes.
Just Mahomes
And-
doing Mahomes shit.
Yeah,
Just like
Mahomes.
you
and people
explain
catching the
this.
ball this time.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
those
Well,
crazy plays.
some of them. We did
It
have
was-
some drops, but
The placement on that ball to Kelsey.
Oh my god, yeah.
Kelsey had to turn around.
with a knee.
Oh my god!
great catch. Great
Right
play.
over the middle. Oh man.
MVS had some good catches.
Yeah,
Great.
we
And
saw
some,
one
a
Really
couple
good
drops,
catches. Yeah.
but some good catches.
But it looks
that
like they're
deep one,
starting
that deep
to
one.
find
Get-
that connection though.
It does because he was able to hit him deep for one, and that's what we've been wanting to see.
Mhm.
We wanted to
Juju
see
looked
him
pretty good.
Stretch the field.
Juju did.
and
He should have had Hardman for a touchdown.
Should have had Hardman for a
He should-
touchdown.
yeah.
We saw 2 catches by Sky Moore,
We did.
Sky had a sighting, a couple of them.
and Fortson showed up for a TD.
Sky was on the field a lot too.
Yeah.
It was good to see him get
Yeah.
usage.
Yeah,
Noah Gray with a rushing touchdown.
Noah Gray. Yeah.
that was a cool play, right?
Yeah.
And Justin Watson had kind of a rough one.
He did, but against
Hey,
a former
it's-
team.
Mike Evans, what are you gonna do?
Just didn't-
Yeah.
Oh no. you said-
Hey, Sneed though. Sneed looked real good tonight.
He did. Sneeze
Yeah.
like all year.
That
He
fumble was
continues
huge.
to put in all pro performances every week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Snead is killing it, man. But yeah, they were exposing Watson, and they just weren't giving him help like they should have been over
Yeah.
there. And like, dude, you can't put this rookie just wind up on Mike Evans like this
Mhm.
in the red zone. Like, what are we? Of course, this is where they're going to attack us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as soon as they put Snead over there on Mike Evans, like we shut that shit down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, put a vet over there on the guy,
Yeah. Well, they were
What
kind
he's
of
doing.
using Snead creatively early on.
Yeah.
which I love. I
Send it-
do
yeah,
because
send-
Snead can do so many things.
He's been so money on the corner blitz this year.
Oh yeah.
Man, I really hope we
money
decide
everywhere.
to like if we decide to pay one corner,
Oh,
can
he's
we
got to
please play Snead. Like
Yeah.
I get that we let Ward go, and somewhere like that, but we never do it. We're always like, we'll find the next guy. And
I'm pretty sure Snead gets paid because he can play so many positions.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
kind of gonna.
You
He
can
can
throw
do
him
everything.
anywhere in the field and
he
he's
can
going to
do
succeed.
everything, man.
I think.
I hope he
Uh,
Pacheco,
He's gonna ask for a
he's
lot,
gonna
though.
get a kick return sooner or later.
Oh man, he was
He had
so.
that,
He was so
he had that
close.
42. Yeah, he had that
So
42
close.
yard.
But they have a kicker that can run a 4.4, I guess.
Yeah, he got the tackle on that too.
He did.
Yeah, that shouldn't
Bravo
be-
to their kicker. Good job.
Yeah,
Good
their
job,
kicker made a play, dude. Their
He did.
kicker. If
Yeah.
he
Gotta
didn't
give
get
it to
there,
him.
Takeo was gone.
Gotta give it to him.
Yeah, he's definitely he feels like he is gonna bust one. He's been so close.
And
Yeah.
then starting out the game on the fumble from their kick
Mhm.
returner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Hey,
had
man.
7 points on the board before I got the damn game turned on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Like they man, we started the exact opposite as last week
Yeah.
and went great.
And
Couldn't-
Mahomes did throw one interception, but it looked like Juju
It
kind of
was-
stopped on that play.
and it
So
was basically in garbage time
It
too.
was.
Juju didn't stop on that play. The ball was short.
I'll say it wasn't the best throw of the day.
it wasn't a great
wasn't.
throw, but if they showed that one
Yeah, it
angle
looked-
and Mahomes is throwing it and Juju had just stopped.
Juju
running.
could have gotten and tried to get a little more in front there. Juju could have maybe fought for
He
a little
no, he
more,
was
but
he was too far
His,
away.
no, his momentum was already carrying him out
I think
towards the
that
end.
his
Yeah.
route was a miscom.
For him to stop and come back on that, that would have been superhuman.
shouldn't have thrown it. Mahomes shouldn't
Yeah,
have thrown
they
it. The guy
should've
was
been-
standing
No,
there.
he shouldn't have thrown that ball.
But other than that, it was a pretty spotless day for Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
Like it was perfect until that moment.
Uh,
right there.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that touchdown to Clyde.
Oh, dude, and
Jesus Christ.
to be a no
You
look.
see him do some of that shit,
Spin
man.
out of the tackle and just fucking little fadeaway jumper.
Yeah, dude, like what the fuck?
You shouldn't be able to. You were getting.
Like, I didn't even see the ball come out of his hand.
What about that one third down that he made that pass to Juju where he's getting tackled and he's throwing that shit, dude? He was literally getting tackled and he made that pass
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I
to
know which
complete
one you're
that
talking
third
about, where he
down.
lofted it over Kelsey, I think.
Uh,
The Juju behind him.
behind him, yeah, Dan. I was like, how the fuck,
Yeah.
dude? You just never get tired of seeing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
It's insane.
I appreciate you, Lamar. I appreciate you, Josh, but you're not Patrick.
Yeah.
Not with that shit.
You can't do those things.
They can do other things. They can do other things that Mahomes can't, but no, nobody can like do that shit where he's just like fucking spinning and like
Yeah.
twirling guys that like
Does any of it look as magical as what Pat does?
no.
Like it's just pure
It's
wizardry.
just
out
shit
there.
that should never work. It's just shit that shouldn't work in like any football, right? It's like you know,
No,
it is
he
that backyard
does
shit
the
that he
things
can
they
do
tell
so
you
well.
not to do.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
pulls
made
it
his
off.
career out of that. It's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's fun to watch.
literally
It's-
playing quarterback like a shortstop.
it
Yeah.
it has to be because I get frustrated when we can't take dudes down, when we're not able to get to a lot of these young quarterbacks, and it's dude
Can
like
you
last year
imagine?
in the playoffs, but I can't even imagine what it's like for the other teams. Like
Yeah, guy. Can you imagine being a Bucks fan on that touchdown tonight? Jesus Christ!
Oh God.
I would have thrown something through my
What a-
television.
no
Oh, man.
ways, dude. And they're getting really good pressure on Pat tonight. Like Orlando Brown was getting a little exposed on
He
some.
looked
of
like he
those.
was.
Yeah.
They kept mentioning that he was playing through an injury. I haven't heard anything about him being injured, but
We'll talk. We'll probably talk about that more in the season. But he, at this point, he cannot be paid. We
Not
cannot.
what he wants.
not what he wants now.
No,
Yeah, and
Maybe
I
he's
think he
playing
might
through
have
an
to
injury,
realize that.
hopefully he gets.
he has good plays, but man, that dude gets just smoked.
He was just taking bad angles tonight too. I mean, it was just.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
he was
at least
diving at
2 or 3
dudes.
times a game. He gets fucking.
Okay. Can we talk about Tampa Bay's rushing or
They didn't
lack
even try
thereof tonight?
to. Like,
They
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not running against the Chiefs this year. I don't.
6 carries for their total. They ran the ball 6 times. 3 with Fournette for -3 yards and
Yeah.
3 with White for 6 yards.
They were down 21-3 before they could blink.
I know, and they just haven't been running it all this year. And last year they did this shit
they did
too.
that's what's weird. The
Tom Brady
first
threw
2
it
weeks-
52 times.
The first 2 weeks they ran the ball a shit ton. They averaged
Yeah.
over 20
Wow.
carries per game the first 2 weeks with just Fournette, and then the last 2 weeks they haven't been giving him the ball.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's a
Tom
lot of
Brady's
times when it
been
works on us because
Hand off.
there are a lot of times when Tom Brady can just dice up our defense, and it's frustrating to watch. Just like
I mean, that's Tom Brady though.
Played the
Like,
game for
he's just gonna do that.
3.
I thought we were going to need a lot more points tonight. I was, I kept saying, I was like, we're gonna need 48. Like I
Yeah.
just thought we were gonna need 40.
I was like,
Well, it needed 32, but we got
Well,
so
Yeah, we did pretty well there in the fourth quarter.
no. We kept the momentum and we kept it going the whole time. That's what I liked.
It's just once we figured out how to shut. Well, a big part of it was Chris Godwin had to come out of the game, so that took some of the threat away. Made covering Evans a little easier. But yeah, as soon as we got Evans shut down, it was pretty much lights out.
Yeah.
Yep. But
So, yeah,
man,
I
we
mean-
always let a
I mean,
one-
Thornhill
Honestly,
did probably
really
have
solid
the worst
performance
thing
all
to do.
around. I would have liked to see a little more pressure. Like we did get good pressure tonight.
some, not as much as I would have liked to see.
Fenton, god damn it, Fenton.
yeah, but it's hard to get pressure on Tom Brady. He has a quick release.
Fenton, at
No,
least
but
He does.
there were
Yeah.
times
Fenton did
when
get called for one of his patented defensive holdings in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He played a
Yeah.
pretty clean game and kept most of the receivers in front of him, and he made solid tackles in the open field when it wasn't on Tom Brady.
he did okay.
So
He didn't do terrible.
I guess I grade Fenton on a Fenton scale. So for him, he played well.
Fair.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to McDuffie coming back and Fenton not seeing the field.
I will accept Fenton as a special teamer. Like I said, he tackles well on those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I like having him as an emergency option. He's at least a known commodity, but
Yeah.
Offense looked good. We ran the ball well. I thought 189 team yards rushing, man.
I mean,
Okay.
some of those rushing yards
But
were to close out the
Mahomes
game, which is
doing
when he
34, but,
does well. Clyde does
yeah,
really good at closing out games.
closing that game. He
This
does, which is great.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Last year he fumbled a couple times.
But yeah,
But hey, we're doing all right.
yeah, I mean, I still have mixed feelings about Clyde. It still feels like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back sometimes.
Yeah, but I think today
Yeah.
was
I mean, yeah, no, he had a real solid game tonight for sure.
Today was definitely a forward game.
But it also felt like they kind of found their rhythm with running the ball.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like between him and Pacheco. Like the way that they
Those
were
are
the way that they were dividing the carries, I loved it.
One,
I
Fucking
did too. I would just say eliminate the McKinnon touches for now.
Yeah, McKinnon. I don't think McKinnon needs to see a lot of the ball.
No.
What-
I, mean, I
Okay.
like McKinnon if he's
I like
coming in
McKinnon as a
spell or
throwing-
something, but
I think we could line up McKinnon almost as wide receiver sometimes.
Yeah, we could put him in there on the receiver spots. I just
that's-
didn't like
and that's why he's still out there. Is he can do so much.
Mhm.
the plays that they put him out that they drew up for him today. I did not like. I was like
No.
that red zone carry that he had. I was like, why?
Yeah.
The one that you want to
There were a lot of weird running plays today where it was like a delay handoff, and
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Because it took up a lot of time. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
like it was like 2 or 3
we shouldn't
seconds.
we shouldn't be taking up that much time with this defensive line that we're going against.
Well,
Like,
it was weird. It was like Patrick Mahomes was like very carefully placing the ball in the back's stomach before he would let go.
Yeah,
It was all happening very slow. It was weird.
almost in slow motion.
Almost like those draw plays almost.
Yeah, I mean they weren't negative plays. They were still picking up like a yard or two, but I didn't love them.
I guess they're a little more of those a little more of the read type plays. I guess is what those would go down as maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
They take the time to read what holes are opening before you hit the hole.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, not a lot to complain about.
Nope.
No.
Tonight.
not offensively, no.
Not offensively.
All right, boys, let's move off our Chiefs. We still have the Rams Niners game tomorrow, but we'll talk about that next week. Let's go on to picks. Our picks from last
Are we
week.
going to talk
and
about the great Monday night game from last week with those Cowboys Giants, huh?
we kind of mentioned it earlier, but no.
I'm
but
going to talk
no,
about a
lost.
Cowboys game.
All right. So week 4 picks. I mean, we still have tomorrow night's game. We did pick that game. Sam was the only one to pick the Rams. The rest of us took the Niners. So we'll see what happens there.
No,
But
the Niners are winning that game.
currently, we have our lowest score, Sam,
Thank you.
at he had 6 going into week 4.
I'm
He added
doing it
3.
for our bet. Look, just
So
So far,
Yeah.
I know you.
Hey, you got 3 instead of 2 this
I
week.
think we need to start doing the spreads. Okay. I think I'd be much better with the spreads.
Yes, you
Okay.
probably would. You probably
Right.
would.
Hey, kitty.
So depending on tomorrow night,
Okay.
Sam is sitting at a 9.
But I got to look at this. You guys don't have a cat that does this. Okay.
Hey,
Alright.
Bob could be down here, but he's upstairs somewhere, probably laying in
No,
bed.
he's not.
So second lowest is me. I had 10 going into this week. I added another 4, so I'm at 14. Jason had 12 going into this week. He added 4, so he is now at 16. And then Matt on top, 13, added another 5 with 18. So let's go through
Ooh.
what we picked last week. So Miami, Cincy, me and P had that game. Dallas, Washington, Jason and P had that game. Tennessee, Indy, everybody
Wait,
with Sam
did-
picked
did
that
I-
game right.
Did I pick Washington?
You sure did
What
with
the
me.
fuck did I do?
You did.
You also picked Indy. So you lost
I
that
was
one.
really hopeful.
I was the
really
only one to
hopeful.
pick against the Eagles. We needed a game. I didn't believe it, but hey, I'll take the loss there. For the Eagles, at least. Bills, Ravens. Everybody but P took that game. So Raiders, Broncos. We all took it. Jason was the one that lost that one. And then we have Rams Niners tomorrow night. So let's go on to our picks for this week. So first game. Well, we're waiting on sneaks.
Snake where the fuck?
Chargers, Browns. I'm taking Chargers.
Take him, Brown.
That's yeah. I can't stop. If it just feels like the Chargers is the obvious choice here, right?
Yeah, it is.
I guess
they
it
are
is.
they are the obvious choice.
And this is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
Sam?
I'm sorry, PB. I'm going Browns.
That's a point for me.
I just really want it to
Snakes.
happen. I just really want it to happen, and it probably won't, right? But maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Next game on the list, we got Lions,
No.
Patriots.
It's a classic game I shouldn't have chosen. It's classic me, right? Already having it. Okay, I'm sorry. What the Lions? And...
Lions, Pats. I'll take Lions.
Oh, yeah, man. So the tough. I'm gonna go Lions. I just really like them this year.
I do too. Even though they keep losing these really close games.
Yeah, they're gonna win one of them, right?
I really like the Lions, but I'm taking the Pats.
Okay.
Me too.
I think the Patriots hung with a good team. See, is this your strategy this week?
Sorry,
Just to
P.
piggyback?
No,
on my
it's
picks?
not. But I just
Piggyback
I
off
thought
the
the
points for P.
I thought the best.
You guys got a lot of hope in who? Zappy? Or who's their starter?
No, I just don't have any faith in Detroit's defense, Tim. I think you're
True.
misunderstanding what I'm
I
saying.
know. All right, so here's a toughie for everybody this week. Seattle, New Orleans. Everybody, it's just
Seattle.
crickets.
I'm not picking
I'll go
until
first. I'll go first. Seattle.
When you say those two cities, it just makes me sad in my heart thinking about the game.
New Orleans.
I swear, dude, mark this one though too, because it's one that Pete definitely picked the opposite of me on. So like,
All right,
I want to see how this.
asterisks next
I want to
to
see
it.
how this strategy
I'm
plays
gonna
out.
go New Orleans.
Because if this works out though, like I'm gonna have to like after we do these recordings, I'm gonna have to look at my picks and then immediately bet the other way. If they had sports betting in Missouri.
Yeah.
But you know. Okay, what
Is it going to be the
we
Red
pooping?
Rocket?
you pooping?
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. We won't know, Tim. We're going off.
I'll go. I'll join Sam.
I feel like it probably will be Andy Dalton again, just because it seems like he played pretty well today.
Yeah, no
You
need to
did,
rush
and that's
James
what made
back.
me not want to pick Seattle, but I'll do it. Where's it at?
Doesn't matter.
Uh,
Seattle.
Seattle.
It is in Seattle. Okay, yeah.
It doesn't.
I'll
I don't
I'm
know
still
if-
going
me,
New
me and
Orleans.
Sam. Me and Sam. Me and
Take on
Sam.
New Orleans.
All
Tim,
right,
we're
so
getting this. We're
New
getting
Orleans
this.
defense is for real.
Miami Jets, no Tua. Who's their backup?
Bridgewater.
Oh yeah, Teddy.
Teddy
I'll
Two.
take Miami still.
I'm sorry, who are they playing? Okay.
Jets.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jets are 2-2.
I'm staying with Miami. I think they can game plan around Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback.
I'm gonna take the Jets because I like what I saw today from the Jets.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets. It seems good.
All right. All right. Cowboys, Rams. Dem boys, Rams.
Oof.
I'll take Rams. I really as well as Rush is doing, I don't.
There's
believe
no
in
way
Rush.
Cooper Rush goes 4-0, right?
He's already 4-0 in his 4 career starts.
I mean, this
First
year.
time.
I don't give a fuck about last year. uh, yeah, I like the Rams. I mean, I don't, but I'm gonna pick them.
We've got an old fashioned standoff here.
Hey, P, I'm gonna believe in that NFC beast. Okay,
Oh shit!
in that division. All
Them
right.
boys.
Sam's taking them
So
boys.
Taking them boys.
Gross.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh,
Hey, that's not fault. That's right.
I'm
Let's go.
trusting the NFC East on this. They've looked so good.
I'm still marking the Seattle New Orleans game as
Okay.
Pete took opposite of Sam.
Prove that I'm not against taking.
But he's being brave right here.
You know,
He's
like
not going to let it screw his best judgment. And he'll be like, hey, this could be one of the one or the 2 or 3 that I get right. You know,
All right,
it's not like I
sorry.
don't get any right.
Cincy, Baltimore. I'm gonna take Cincy because Baltimore will give up a lead if they get one.
Baltimore won't close a game. They refuse.
No.
Where is it at?
And oh yeah, that's a good question. Where is that game at?
Although they just fucked up in Baltimore today. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm almost.
Yeah.
The,
I'll take Cincy no matter where it is.
yeah, I'm going to take Cincy as well.
I'm still going Baltimore.
Okay. It's up to P.
Maybe Baltimore. It's tough. This one's tough.
This
don't know.
might be
I
the
don't know this
toughest.
game.
This might be the tough game of the week right here.
I'm.
This one in that Seattle, New Orleans, I
I
think,
don't know,
are
man.
I know.
rough ones to
Say
choose.
Baltimore snaps the streak of home losses, and they win.
Okay. So far,
Yeah, I kind of feel
every
like that'd be
game
it,
we've
too.
picked
Dang
is
it,
a
I can't
split
swap, can I?
between two. You can.
Nah, I'm not going to follow P that
Hey,
much. Yes.
ride those Bengals with me, Sam.
Okay, I'll ride the Bengals with you. Let's go Bengals.
And last game we have for number 7, Colts. Let's ride those Colts, boys. Broncos, Colts.
Ugh.
How do you decide? How do you pick? How do you pick? I don't know.
I almost want to pick Ty.
What if we pitch?
I mean, we're
I'm
laughing
gonna
about a
pick the
team that
fucking
beat us. but-
Broncos. The Colts look
He's-
terrible.
God, but if just think though, if the Broncos beat the Colts, like Broncos fans are gonna be like, "Oh, we beat the Colts, Chiefs fans."
I mean, true, but I'll
They're
just
not.
say,
Look
yeah.
at
But
their-
did you
their
watch
season.
any of your previous 4 games?
I'm gonna take Colts. I think they're gonna turn around
I
this
don't
week
feel confident about it.
against the Broncos. I'll take
Hold
Colts.
on.
I'll take
I'll,
Colts.
I think I'll take the Colts as well. Wait,
This
P,
is
are
a
you the
tough
only one
game.
picking-
Okay, let's. What
I
if we
feel
just
like
pick
I feel
coaching?
sick to my stomach about it, but I think
P,
I'm
are you picking the Broncos?
Okay.
I think I'm going to take the Broncos.
So we've got an even half and half on every game. Yeah, P and Sneaky took the Bronx.
There are not many teams I would pick the Broncos to win against. God, I don't feel good about that, but
Yeah, the Colts, like Matt
But I
Ryan,
think isn't
they're going against a statue, and the Broncos have a better pass.
is
rush.
Leonard? Hey, is Shaq
Yeah.
Leonard coming back?
I don't think that'll be enough. I mean, I don't think the Broncos are going to fucking go out there and light it up on offense. I just think the Colts are going to suck like they have been.
Okay. You might be right.
All right. Well, we're done with picks. We're done with the NFL for this week, boys. Until next week, let's move on. We got a little bit of MLB and a little NBA news. We'll start with the MLB. So, Padres, Dodgers, Mets, Astros, Braves, Yanks, Guardians, Cards, Blue Jays, Mariners, Rays, Padres, all. Oh, I've already said the Padres have all clinched playoff spots. Still a couple up for grabs.
Yeah.
So we'll have to keep watching those. We'll update those next week. But that's a lot of teams already clinching.
Yeah.
But
Is that baseball?
yes,
Is that baseball? That would be the baseball. Yes, that would be the baseball.
I also saw another stat
you
today. This is
got-
a little off topic, but Shohei and Trout's home run count is exactly how many wins they have. 73
Oh,
total.
wow. Shohei just got a new contract.
Yeah, he did.
Well, just
2 year 30,
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's like next year. So
30 per. or
Too
something.
no, I
little,
thought it was
but
next year or 1 year 30. I thought it was just an
Okay, it might
extension
have
for
been.
next year.
Yeah.
So
too little for
Shohei's gonna
Shohei, but
stay in California.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, might as well.
But I
But
think that was
still,
just
pay
for
the
next
dude.
year, 'cause, yeah, that
Pay
dude-
the dude.
Come on, man.
But yeah,
we'll see
so
if the who can finish it out here. And
yeah, yeah, we'll keep an update on who else clinches when they clinch. But
I know next week it'll be much more interesting with baseball because
Yeah.
playoffs will get going.
we'll be right there.
But
Yeah,
we do have the home run stuff. We'll see if Judge can get to 62. He hit
62.
61.
He's been stuck. He's been stuck
He
since he hit that
has.
61. It
Thought
did
he
take
was
him a
doing-
couple games too to get
He
61
just-
now. So
But they just had their last home series. Like everyone thought he would do it over the weekend during their home series, and
mhm.
he didn't do it. Now they go back on the road.
Yeah, they're in Toronto, I think.
Yeah, Toronto or was it Texas? Toronto, one of those seats. Yeah. See if he can do it on the road. And then Pujols, right?
The Wolves, yeah, he hit 702 today
Yeah,
in their final regular home game.
good for him.
And they took out Pujols, Molina, and Wainwright, maybe all at the same time. Like subbed them all out at the
Okay.
same time because they all played together forever. So
That's cool.
that was a cool little thing they did today. But that's our baseball talk for the week, boys.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated next week on playoff games and home runs, I guess. Let's go to there's a little bit of signing news over on the NBA. We had Miami extending Tyler Hero to a 4-year, 130 mil. That's peace team right there, boys.
I like it. I like it. I mean, 6 man of the year right there.
Yeah.
You lock him up. I mean, I don't think he's going to get 6 man of the year again next year because I think he's going to start for us. But I like it. He's a good player who's doesn't get some of the credit he deserves. He ranks highly with that young class that he was in, so and compares nicely to the other guards in it.
Yeah.
Like it.
I like Hero.
Yeah.
I like watching him.
Yeah.
He's fun.
He fits in well. He has. I don't know. He seems like his teammates like him, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a big shot. So
NBA.
yeah.
NBA. Then next we had the Grizzlies extending Steven Adams to a 2-year, $25.2 million. Good for Adams. I like Adams. I've liked Adams since. I mean, OKC. Yeah, that was my team when I really started to get into basketball. So
No,
He's
yeah,
a
I'm
big
happy
man.
for Adams. I like what he does, and I like that contract too for the Grizz. It's not encumbersome at all. So,
but yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
He's getting
And
up
then-
there in age, right?
yeah, he's been in the league a while.
For a long time, it seems like.
Yeah. And in like a month, we can actually talk a little bit about real basketball, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we got some preseason
it's
going.
not too far away,
That's
sneaking
right.
back up. But also like it's regular season basketball, so it's like who cares?
Yeah. At least
just
until
kidding.
later.
But really, like before, especially before the All-Star break, like who cares?
I mean, it's really cool because you get to see. I'm excited to see. We'll get to see the Nets at full strength. Finally,
It'll be interesting to see how that starts out.
I get to
And
see my KU
How
players
long
play.
they can stay healthy.
yeah. I mean, and just how well they gel together. Boston, how they.
Is Ben gonna play? Is Ben Simmons gonna play?
Yeah, Ben Simmons is good to go.
Okay.
The back's healed up. Apparently, he's.
Shot still trash.
They're
Oh,
not
sorry.
going to ask him to shoot.
I know.
They asked Kyrie and
Don't
Kevin
need
Nash
him.
about his shooting, and they were like, "Dude, we don't like.
Don't need them
We
to
have one of the
shoot.
top 5 passers in the NBA right now. We don't want him to shoot all the
Yeah.
time. We want Ben Simmons to be Ben Simmons, and I think that's an environment that's already. It didn't necessarily even just come from the team when he was in Philly. The fans wanted him to be what he wasn't. I mean, he was like, "Yo, like, why would I shoot the 3 if he shoots it better than me and he's wide open?"
Yeah.
Let me give it to the wide open dude. Like he assisted more 3-pointers his time in Philly than any other player in the league.
Sometimes you're sitting right underneath the net, and you just need to like. But I could, yeah.
Split second decision.
Look.
It's not a good look.
I think he's in a much better place for himself. We'll see how he does.
I mean, just think about it if like Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers were dogging him to the media like that, right? Just imagine what that locker room must have been like previous to that.
Sure. Yeah.
It probably wasn't the healthiest environment.
We'll see how this environment is with Katie and Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie, he can't talk shit. He takes half the season off just to fucking take half the season off. He's like, bro, like, you didn't feel like playing last year? I get it. Neither did I.
Yeah.
Halfway through the year, I decided I'll play again, but that's me. I mean, and that's because I took half the season off the year before, I didn't want to take a full season off at once. I commend you, though, Ben.
Right.
And KD, he's like, are you talking shit on me on Twitter? And Ben's like, of course not. He's like, then we cool, dog. Seems easy.
It'll be
enough.
interesting to see how the Nets
Yeah.
come up short this year.
Yeah.
It is. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for the Nets, but I just want to see them.
Yeah. See what happens over there in Brooklyn. So next big signing we had the Pellies extending Larry Nance Jr. to a 2-year, $21.6 million. Larry Nance.
Yeah, I like Larry Nance. He's got hops.
Yeah.
Not a bad piece at all. He had good contributions to their squad last year. He's been solid everywhere he's been, I think. So,
yeah.
I bet the Lakers still wish they still had him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Somebody that could rebound and run the court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you guys hear the Lakers big 3 have a new mantra?
Yeah, I almost added it to our list.
We got the NBA version of "Let's Ride," guys.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Go.
Oh no, they don't have a catchphrase.
What is
go?
What?
You get it. Go. That is their mantra.
What does that mean?
If you get the ball, go for it.
You get it, go.
You get it, go.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
What a weirdo.
last signing we've got here.
There's more in it. There cannot
Last one. Boston Celtics. Blake Griffin agreed to a 1-year contract. That I don't have a number on. I'm not seeing a number, but I know it's fully guaranteed. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a veteran contract, whatever.
Probably veteran minimum.
Yeah.
And so what I would guess.
Great for them.
It fills a need
And-
because Danilo Galliano tore his ACL playing overseas this year in the summer.
Yeah.
He was
Over in
one of their-
Italy.
Yeah, he was one of their additions for the wing position, and Blake Griffin does add some forward depth for them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
He's able to knock down a shot now, and he's expanded his game. So I like the signing.
I think it's good for each party.
Yeah.
Good for all involved. All right. Go NBA.
Go NBA. We're done with it. And I think that ends it for the week.
Woo.
Till next week,
Till next
at
week.
least.
Till
Yeah.
next week.
Hey, but thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
There you go. All right.
Hit
Have
the
a good night,
Sam.
guys. All right.
But that
We got it.
Samuel for me is this way. I don't know which way he is
He's out.
correctly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you had it for me. He's below you.
yeah.
Hey,
So,
shout out to Sam for hosting me, letting me watch
Yeah.
Red Zone at his house.
yeah.
Wherever you were, Sam. All right.
Feed me food.
Hey, I just started a new job. I wanted to spend
Tim,
the last day before I have no
PB,
idea how
you'll-
much I'm gonna work with my kiddo. So
hey, PB, you will have to join us one of these Sundays. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I was gonna
You've been
say,
able
like,
to
you
do
guys are
most of
welcome.
them.
You guys
I
are
won't be
welcome.
there. I won't be there next week just because me and Rachel's we'll have I'll probably miss like half the noon games.
Yeah.
So
I might have to work, so I may
But
miss
the-
all the games. So,
but the Chiefs play Monday night, so
but I'll let you know, Sneak, unless you're going to Peace. So
You're welcome to, but I will let you know Red Zone is on my cell phone only. It is a rough life because I
that's
have
tough.
Red Zone mobile and it's only on my I can't even use it on my iPad. So
You
the
can't
iPad
cast
is
it. You can't-
no
doesn't allow it, right?
They're selfish as fuck, bro. They
Oh,
are
that's brutal.
selfish as
That's
fuck
so
with
brutal.
them. I was like, okay, it'll let me use it on my iPad. So I was like, I'll go ahead and pay the subscription fee. And I was like, oh, I can only watch it on my phone. And they're like, yeah, you can only watch it on your phone.
P.
So
Oh, never mind.
That's why I don't
You're
text.
on iPhone, aren't you?
yeah.
I was gonna say
Okay,
because
I'll give you guys my garage code and you just come down the stairs and just start and just pop.
I was gonna say well, on your PC you could download BlueStacks, which gives you a fake Android device basically,
Yeah.
and you can do it on your computer, and then it might let you, if you download, because it gives you like the Google Play app, download the Red Zone app, log into it on there. It might think that it's, I don't know how well it'll do, but
Yeah.
it might bypass that, and then at least you're on a monitor.
We're out, right?
Well,
We can-
because shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. We're well past Pete.